health news coming to you from our digital desk. We're going to be taking you into the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas for a pretrial hearing. This is into the June stabbing death of that 3-year-old little boy at Giant Eagle in North Olmsted. Julian Wood is his name. His mother was also stabbed. Julian was killed. This is a pretrial, and there's a lot of facets to this case because the accused, Bionca Ellis, is going to be potentially facing the death penalty. There's going to have to be a lot of work done in the courts before they even get to what is a December scheduled trial. So it's always interesting to see what is being discussed. Are they going to have to do a mental health evaluation? Is that a part of what today's hearing is? We'll have to wait and see. But again, this is all a part of what will lead up to a potential death penalty or a capital murder case. In the state of Ohio, when you're charged, and there is Bionca Ellis, we weren't sure if she would be making an actual appearance. We've seen some erratic behavior out of her in the past. Right, so let's take a live listen in.
692-604 Bionca Ellis. She's present in court this morning with her counsel, Mr. Mack, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Summers. Assistant County Prosecutor Ms. Faralia and Ms. Patel are here on behalf of the state of Ohio. We're here this morning for this matter. Court's looking for a few updates from the parties as well. I'll note for the record that we did set it for trial for December 9th. Looks like we inadvertently put December 6th on the journal entry, so that in fact is a wrong date. That's a Friday, I think. So it's in fact December 9th that the trial date is set with respect to this case. If I can go to the state of Ohio, I know there had been some discussions about discovery and where that discovery might be, as well as I think the autopsy report, and then I could go to the counsel for Ms. Ellis and hear from them. Thank you. Ms. Browley, good morning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Yes, we have been complying with our discovery requirements. We have sent over documentation for the defense with regards to the autopsy. It is my understanding that it in fact has been completed, and the state should have it in its possession by the end of the week, and then we will transfer it over to defense counsel. In addition, the state still has some outstanding subpoenas for some additional documentation. As soon as we get that, we will turn that over as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Mr. Mack, Mr. Johnson, if you want to be heard then this morning, I'll hear from both of you. Any concerns about that discovery or anything for the record regarding Ms. Ellis?
I don't think so, Judge.
Okay, very good. And then with respect to Ms. Ellis?
Judge, during the month of June, Mr. Johnson and I met with Ms. Ellis. And as a result of that interview, we came back to this court. We petitioned the court to see if we could get an expert on the board to interview Ms. Ellis. And that was in fact done during the first week of July. Subsequently, our expert communicated with Mr. Johnson and I and believes that at this point Ms. Ellis is incompetent and not able to assist in her defense and cannot stand trial. So we're asking the court to respectfully have her referred to North Coast Behavioral so that she can be restored if possible.
All right, Mr. Mack. I know for the state of Ohio, you know, that report is under seal as provided to counsel. They have the opportunity to have that interview, which they did. The court's unaware of that and being made today with a request to refer her to North Coast. Obviously, I'm not going to ask the state of Ohio to stipulate to something you haven't seen, but I will ask what your thoughts are about the state of Ohio either wanting the court to provide a report through our court psychiatric clinic and or whether you're going to opt to have someone else privately hired by yourself.
The state, Your Honor, at this time is going to respectfully request that she be referred to the court psychiatric clinic for evaluation under seal, and that report is to be provided to you and to the state and to the defense.
Okay. So that being the case, I know it's about a 30-day window. I will just say that I'll have my bailiff call there to make sure that the clinical psychologist who's in charge, Dr. Songer, is aware of the report needing to be done timely, and then also to make sure that either he or someone who has the experience be able to handle that report for this court for her determination of whether she's competent to stand trial. Regarding that, going 30 days out, I'll ask that report to be completed August 13th. We would ask the parties to be back in the court to have a discussion on what next steps might be regarding the findings from our court psychiatric clinic, as well as discussions about what would be next for Ms. Ellis if in fact they also find her to be incompetent to stand trial as well. So is the 13th something that is available on all of your calendars? So that would be August.
On behalf of the state, it's fine, Your Honor.
Yeah. On behalf of Ms. Ellis, we're there as well.
Okay. All right. So we'll go ahead and set that date, have the parties appear here for the hearing, and then I'll refer Ms. Ellis to the court psychiatric clinic to have them make a determination of competency regarding this matter. Anything further then from the state?
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And on behalf of Ms. Ellis, Mr. Mack?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for being timely, and then we'll adjourn with respect to today's matter. Thank you.
Dan DeRose with 19 News. As you've just heard, this is all about trying to determine if Bionca Ellis is competent to stand trial. Her own attorneys that have been appointed to her by the state obviously saying that she is not competent, that they had their own professional psychologist try to interview her. That is under seal. We're not sure what the questions were, what the answers were, or exactly what it is that has her own attorney saying she is incompetent. But now, as a legal matter, you can't just go on what her attorneys are saying. Of course, now the court and the state has their own psychiatric evaluation that's going to happen with a psychologist. They've asked that it happen within 30 days, be completed within 30 days. Her attorneys were trying to get her transferred to North Coast. That is a mental health facility trying to, again, say that she's incompetent for trial, so let's get her to North Coast and get her some help. But the state, and unfortunately, the way the judicial system works, you can't just say that and send her off. There has to be verification on both sides. That'll happen within the next 30 days, and we'll be back in court on August 13th. And that'll be an interesting pre-trial hearing as well, because once she has that evaluation from the state side, the judge will review that evaluation and could make a ruling that day whether or not she will be competent to stand trial or if the judge is going to take some more time to review that. So we're going to follow this case. Of course, you'll remember it was 3-year-old little Julian Wood who was stabbed and killed in the parking lot allegedly by Bionca Ellis. There is overwhelming evidence that it was her, and it's going to be a tall order for any kind of defense. But when we're talking about a capital murder case, potential death penalty case, you have to let this play out. She has rights, and she has to be given full confidence within the court system. We're going to wrap this up. If we have any other breaking news, it'll be right here on our digital platforms. Otherwise, watch for our 11 o'clock news and our noon news on CW43, then on Channel 19. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.